What if I informed you that the Amish possess hidden culinary secrets capable of saving you thousands of dollars annually? Ranging from preventing food spoilage to elevating basic ingredients into gourmet fare. These 40 Amish cooking techniques are more than just clever. They are financial game changers. While contemporary kitchens accumulate costly gadgets, the Amish have honed methods utilizing items you likely already possess. Preserve herbs in water jars. The Amish employ an astute method to maintain herb freshness for weeks, not merely days. Simply trim the herb stems and arrange them in water glasses, resembling miniature bouquets. Cover them loosely with a plastic bag, generating a greenhouse effect that preserves humidity. The essential step involves changing the water every 3 days to avert sliminess. This straightforward technique prolongs herb viability from 3 days to 3 weeks, resulting in $4 to $5 saved weekly on groceries. Parsley, cilantro, and basil retain their vibrancy longer, available whenever you require them. The majority of herbs thrive with this approach, although woody varieties like rosemary and thyme occasionally favor drier storage conditions. The Amish demonstrate respect for food by extending its usability, converting potential waste into sustained nourishment. Tissue paper cookie protection. Few things spoil a bake sale more rapidly than soggy cookies. The Amish devised a simple fix using common tissue paper. By arranging cookies between sheets of tissue paper within airtight containers, they inhibit the moisture transfer responsible for making cookies stale. The paper takes up surplus humidity, yet permits sufficient air movement to preserve crispness. This strategy is particularly effective for delicate types, such as sugar cookies and macaroons. This preservation method establishes a microenvironment that controls moisture levels. Soft cookies remain tender, and crisp cookies keep their crunch. The Amish community has utilized this approach for generations, especially during harvest festivals when baked goods must remain fresh over several days. Appropriate storage doubles the freshness of cookies without requiring sophisticated equipment. Mason jar vacuum sealing. While modern homes often invest in pricey vacuum sealers, the Amish have relied on a cost-free alternative for generations. Their method involves pressing a jar lid against a counter's edge at an angle, expelling air and inducing natural suction. This uncomplicated technique keeps dry goods fresh twice as long compared to conventional storage. The science is simple. Reduced oxygen equates to slower spoilage. Amish communities typically apply this technique for storing flour, sugar, dried beans, and other pantry necessities. Mastering the correct amount of pressure takes practice. Excessive force could crack the jar, whereas insufficient pressure fails to create a proper seal. This preservation approach needs no electricity and cuts down food waste by roughly 30%. The egg freshness water test. The Amish possess a reliable means for checking egg freshness, the water test. Fill a bowl with cold water and carefully place eggs inside. Fresh eggs will lie horizontally on the bottom, ideal for poaching or frying. Eggs that stand on end are older but still usable, particularly for baking. Should an egg float, discard it promptly. Floating signifies that excessive air has entered the shell, rendering it potentially unsafe for consumption. This elementary test saves households $8 to $10 each month by helping to avoid food poisoning. The scientific principle involves the air cell within eggs expanding as they age. One might say eggs are unique in having their own built-in expiration indicator float. Amish households raising their own chickens frequently use this test, as farm-fresh eggs often lack commercial date markings. The penny in plant pots trick. Maintaining thriving indoor herb gardens presents challenges, notably during winter. A traditional Amish solution involves placing a clean copper penny in potted herbs to deter fungal attacks on the plants. The science behind it is that copper ions function as natural antifungal agents, slowly leaching into the soil during watering. This affords protection without resorting to harmful chemicals. Cultivating herbs indoors with this method ensures fresh flavors are accessible throughout the year. For numerous families adhering to Amish traditions, this basic trick guarantees their windowsill herbs remain healthy, even in moist environments. Every herb saved translates to $2 to $3 less spent per recipe on store-bought alternatives. What appears as a mere penny becomes a potent plant defender that repays its cost many times over. Salt in bitter coffee solution. When coffee brews too long or acquires a bitter taste, many people turn to sugar or cream. In Amish regions, however, they opt for salt. A minuscule pinch introduced to overbrewed coffee neutralizes bitter compounds without imparting sweetness. This method works exceptionally well with darker roasts, which possess more compounds that activate bitterness receptors on the tongue. Salt molecules obstruct these receptors, deceiving your taste buds into perceiving reduced bitterness. Research indicates this Amish tactic surpasses sugar in diminishing perceived bitterness. Eliminating the need to discard overbrewed coffee saves the average household approximately $40 per year. Salt's capacity to make undrinkable coffee enjoyable illustrates how practical kitchen chemistry addresses everyday issues within Amish communities. Cutting onions lengthwise to prevent tears, slicing from the root end to the stem end, rather than across the onion's equator, is a straightforward adjustment originating from Amish kitchens where efficiency is paramount. This technique functions by damaging fewer cells that discharge the compounds, inducing tears. Keeping the root section intact while cutting provides a natural handle and minimizes exposure to the enzymes that irritate eyes. Numerous commercial kitchens have embraced this method, learned from Amish culinary traditions. Quicker preparation, without needing to pause and wipe away tears, leads to less waste from cutting errors. In community kitchens where Amish cooks prepare meals for sizable gatherings, this technique is invaluable. The direct approach converts a commonly disliked kitchen chore into a manageable one, demonstrating that sometimes the answer lies not in a new gadget, but in a superior technique. The sole product I'll ever endorse on our channel is a book by Claude Davis, an experienced prepper, detailing 126 superfoods and preservation methods from times of crisis, like the Great Depression and wartime, which are otherwise impossible to find. I decided to promote his book because we represent the final generation capable of passing these techniques and knowledge of superfoods to our children or grandchildren. It would be regrettable to let this information about highly nutritious foods and crisis survival preservation methods vanish. You can also locate a book on herbal remedies by Nicole in their store. If you happen to be watching this on television, you can search for our channel, Frugal Solutions, using your phone or tablet, and find the books by clicking the link provided in our channel description or any other video description. The 3-day soup method, commencing with roasted meat bones on the first day, establishes the foundation for exceptional flavor depth in Amish kitchens. This unhurried soup-making process progresses by incorporating tougher vegetables on day 2, followed by finishing touches of delicate herbs and seasonings on day 3. The extended, slow cooking permits flavors to mature completely while breaking down collagen in the bones, yielding a rich broth unattainable through rapid cooking methods. A single chicken can generate soup for a family of 4, costing merely $1.25 per serving. Archaeological findings suggest comparable slow cooking techniques were employed thousands of years ago across various cultures. One could guess that Amish cooks exercise bone patience. The longer they wait, the richer the outcome. The Amish maintain this technique as it maximizes nutrition and flavor derived from minimal ingredients. When prepared correctly, these soups boast higher mineral and gelatin content than commercial counterparts, costing 5 times as much. Occasionally, the most flavorful foods simply require time. One-handed egg cracking technique. Kitchen efficiency stems from mastering basic techniques. Holding an egg sideways, grasped between the thumb and middle finger, facilitates flawless cracking using only one hand. A decisive tap against the bowl's rim, succeeded by a gentle twisting action, cleanly separates the shell. Within Amish communities, where large volume baking is commonplace, this technique proves indispensable. Observing proficient individuals crack dozens of eggs without a single shell piece falling in demonstrates years of dedicated practice. The sideways hold is crucial. It targets the ideal breaking point along the egg's inherent fault line. Perfecting this method averts egg wastage due to shell contamination, which is particularly vital when making delicate items like custards or meringues, where even minute shell fragments can spoil the texture and look. Tomato acidity balancing act. Tomato sauce frequently suffers from excessive acidity that masks other flavors. Incorporating exactly 1/8 teaspoon of sugar per cup of tomato sauce achieves ideal balance without introducing sweetness. For added depth, 1-2 teaspoon of butter contributes richness. This balancing act originated in Amish kitchens, where eliminating waste was essential, and imperfect tomatoes required transformation into palatable sauce. The sugar counteracts acidity, while the butter imparts a subtle creaminess that harmonizes the overall flavor. The underlying chemistry involves sugar molecules binding with acid compounds, thereby lessening their effect on taste receptors. This technique turns basic home-canned tomatoes into sauce rivaling 80 artisanal varieties, costing only pennies. Amish cooks have long recognized that optimal flavor arises from balance. The bacon grease library, various types of bacon yield cooking fats with unique flavors. Preserving these fats in labeled mason jars results in a library of flavor enhancers. Applewood smoked bacon grease imparts sweetness to breakfast potatoes, whereas hickory smoked types lend depth to beans and greens. This meticulous categorization arises from Amish resourcefulness, ensuring nothing is wasted. A single tablespoon of saved bacon grease can substitute for 25 cents worth of butter or oil in nearly any recipe, while contributing significantly more flavor. These fats remain usable for months if stored properly in cool, dark locations. Tradition holds that this practice originated during frugal times when buying cooking oils was not always feasible. Today, culinary professionals acknowledge that these carefully saved fats contain intricate flavor compounds that commercial products cannot replicate. Wet paper towel salad preservation. Fresh greens frequently wilt with disappointing speed. After washing lettuce and other salad greens, enfold them in damp paper towels before storing them in an airtight container. Refresh the towels every 2 to 3 days to sustain the ideal moisture equilibrium. This method, adopted from Amish gardeners, extends the life of lettuce from 4 days to 2 weeks, sufficient time to actually consume the entire bag. The simple paper towel functions as a moisture regulator, warding off both wilting and sogginess. You could compare it to giving your lettuce a spa day, keeping it fresh, crisp, and ready to use. This preservation approach saves approximately $5 per week for households that regularly eat fresh greens. The Amish have consistently understood that correct storage is just as crucial as proper cultivation. The mayonnaise egg secret. Scrambled eggs, despite their simplicity, often end up dry and uninspired. Introducing just 1 teaspoon of mayonnaise for every 3 eggs yields restaurant-grade fluffiness without needing cream. The fat content in mayonnaise inhibits the eggs from drying out while cooking. This ingenious technique elevates basic eggs into a gourmet breakfast at a mere fraction of diner costs. The mayonnaise vanishes entirely during cooking, leaving behind no discernible taste, only perfectly creamy eggs. Numerous visitors to Amish country remark on the superior quality of breakfast offerings. What they are tasting is generations of kitchen know-how, where ingredients serve multiple purposes. Tests reveal that eggs prepared using this method hold 40% more moisture than those cooked conventionally, achieving the silky consistency typically linked with professional cooking. Sugar grease baking pans. Employing sugar instead of flour for greasing pans makes a transformative difference in sweet-baked goods. When exposed to heat, the sugar caramelizes, forming a crisp, flavorful crust that elevates home baking to a professional standard. This technique is particularly effective for pound cakes and the quick breads, where the slightly crunchy edge provides a pleasing textural contrast. Kitchen wisdom from Amish bakers indicates that roughly 1 tablespoon of sugar provides the ideal coating for a standard loaf pan. The heat-altered sugar generates flavor compounds unattainable through other means. This 3-cent trick yields results comparable to specialty bakery items priced 15 times higher. Traditional Amish baking prioritizes these minor, transformative techniques over costly ingredients or equipment. Ice cube burger technique. Embedding a small ice cube into the center of each burger patty might seem illogical. In Amish cooking, however, this surprising addition ensures the meat remains exceptionally juicy from the inside outwards. The ice melts as it cooks, generating steam that prevents the burger from becoming dry, even when cooked to safe internal temperatures. Findings show approximately 20% juicier burgers without requiring any special ingredients or complex steps. This technique originated in farming communities where utilizing every portion of butchered animals was vital. Devising methods to enhance less tender cuts became essential for minimizing waste. Modern food science corroborates what Amish cooks learned through experience. Moisture retention significantly enhances flavor perception. This simple ice addition turns home-cooked burgers into meals that rival costly restaurant offerings. Pickle juice, potato salad enhancement. Classic potato salad often turns out heavy and monotonous. Substituting 2 tablespoons of pickle juice for 1 tablespoon of mayonnaise invigorates flavors while mitigating richness. The tangy brine offers perfect acidity balance and lowers the overall calorie count. In Amish communities, where potato salad is a staple at summer gatherings, this technique produces memorable dishes without undue complexity. During county fair contests, this tactic has secured blue ribbons for many potato salads. Who would have thought leftover pickle juice could be the secret ingredient in the potato salad arena? I suppose you could call it a significant dill in the culinary sphere. The preserved cucumber brine carries a complex flavor profile featuring vinegar, salt, garlic, and spices, all perfectly balanced to augment potato dishes. Cold water onion soaking. Raw onions frequently cause tears and impart an overpowering sharpness to meals. Soaking sliced onions in ice water for 10 minutes prior to use completely alters their flavor profile. The cold water extracts harsh compounds while retaining the essential crunch and taste. Ideal for salads, sandwiches, and garnishes, this method makes affordable yellow onions taste remarkably like premium sweet varieties. Amish cooks have employed this approach for generations to make common ingredients exceptional without unnecessary expenditure. The science relates to water-soluble sulfur compounds responsible for the characteristic onion pungency. These compounds dissolve into the cold water, leaving milder, sweeter flavors behind. Food chemistry analyses demonstrate that this simple soaking diminishes the perception of sharpness by roughly 60%, while preserving beneficial nutrients and essential oils. The vodka pie crust revolution. Achieving a flaky pie crust remains difficult even for seasoned bakers. Replacing 2 tablespoons of water with vodka in pie dough yields outstanding results through clever chemistry. The alcohol completely evaporates during baking, generating extra flakiness without imparting any residual taste. Vodka hinders gluten development, resulting in a more tender crust compared to traditional methods. This technique has been embraced by Amish bakers who prioritize crafting exceptional desserts without sophisticated equipment. The science is logical. Water encourages gluten formation, which can toughen crusts, whereas alcohol provides moisture without the same effect. Egg yolk mashed potato. Luxury mashed potatoes serve as a comfort food cornerstone in many cultures. Incorporating 1 egg yolk into hot mashed potatoes immediately before serving achieves restaurant-quality results instantly. The residual heat safely cooks the yolk while refining the texture and appearance. This Amish culinary secret leverages the yolk's natural emulsifying capabilities to yield velvety smoothness without requiring excessive cream or butter. The technique imparts a rich golden hue and luxurious consistency to an otherwise basic dish. Nutritional assessments show that egg-enhanced potatoes have about 15% more protein than standard recipes. Furthermore, the lecithin in egg yolks aids in maintaining the potato structure, preventing the gumminess that often occurs as potatoes cool. Basic ingredients elevated through simple techniques typify traditional Amish cooking methods, where resourcefulness leads to remarkable outcomes. Apple cider vinegar, bean digestibility. Introducing 1 tablespoon of apple cider vinegar to beans while they cook significantly improves digestive comfort. The acidity decomposes indigestible compounds responsible for gas, while concurrently boosting flavor development. The Amish have long recognized that proper preparation enhances the enjoyability of economical foods. This straightforward addition makes beans as easy to digest as more expensive proteins without compromising nutritional value. Food scientists have finally validated what Amish cooks have known for years. The acidity cuts down oligosaccharides by roughly 28%. As the saying goes in Amish country, a spoonful of vinegar keeps the rumbles away. The subtle tang also counteracts the earthiness of bean varieties, fostering more intricate flavor profiles. Numerous traditional cuisines globally independently arrived at similar acid-based techniques, illustrating how practical wisdom frequently crosses cultural divides. Cast iron pancake perfection. Pancakes featuring perfectly golden surfaces and fluffy interiors depend more on technique than ingredients. Heat cast iron gradually over medium-low heat for 7 minutes. Add just enough butter to create a paper-thin layer that prevents sticking. Pour the batter only when a water droplet sizzles and dances across the surface. This simple test confirms the correct temperature. When water drops skitter instead of instantly evaporating, the iron is prepared. Amish breakfast tables frequently showcase these consistently flawless pancakes, costing mere pennies compared to restaurant versions. Cast iron distributes heat 35% more uniformly than aluminum pans, preventing undercooked centers. Consistent temperature transforms basic ingredients into unforgettable meals. The hair drain catcher hack. Kitchen plumbing woes often originate from food debris going down the drains. Placing an affordable shower drain cover over kitchen sink drains prevents expensive clogs before they develop. This fix comes directly from practical Amish households where averting problems is prioritized. The fine mesh captures even minute food particles while permitting water to drain unimpeded. Regularly emptying it takes mere seconds but saves hundreds on emergency plumbing repairs. The typical household spends over $300 annually on preventable plumbing issues. Within Amish communities, practical knowledge is passed down through generations, stressing prevention over costly solutions. This $5 investment helps avoid moisture damage, mold proliferation, and the hassle of backed-up water. Brown paper bag tomato ripening. Placing almost ripe tomatoes inside paper bags along with an apple naturally enhances their flavor. The apple emits ethylene gas, which accelerates ripening without compromising taste. This method enables purchasing green tomatoes at half the price and ripening them perfectly at home. Research shows that controlled ripening yields tomatoes with 23% greater sugar content compared to those left on countertops. The paper bag establishes the ideal conditions for flavor development while inhibiting moisture loss. Amish gardeners have long utilized this technique to prolong the tomato season by harvesting slightly prematurely. Savings during tomato season can amount to $10 to $15 per month, while yielding superior flavor compared to commercially ripened alternatives. The 2-spoon egg separation method. Separating eggs often intimidates novice bakers. Cracking an egg into a bowl and then using 2 spoons to gently transfer the yolk back and forth elegantly overcomes this hurdle. The whites cleanly fall away, leaving the yolk intact. This technique proves reliable even for individuals who find traditional shell separation challenging. Amish bakers instructing children frequently begin with this method to foster confidence. After all, as they might say, culinary confidence begins with not having to tread carefully around eggshells. Avoiding broken yolks saves approximately $3 to $4 monthly in discarded eggs. The method is effective because the smooth, curved surfaces of the spoons support the delicate yolk membrane more evenly than jagged eggshell edges. Honey fruit preservation. Cut fruit frequently turns brown rapidly, diminishing its appeal. Applying a thin coating of honey to apple, pear, and peach slices naturally prevents this browning. The antibacterial qualities of honey prolong shelf life while imparting subtle sweetness. This preservation technique facilitates purchasing fruit in bulk without spoilage, leading to savings of roughly 15% to 20% on seasonal produce. Natural enzymes present in honey interact with fruit surfaces to inhibit oxidation, the chemical reaction causing browning. Traditional Amish kitchens depend on this method during harvest time when large fruit quantities require processing. Unlike lemon juice, which can significantly alter flavor, honey complements the inherent sweetness of fruits while forming an invisible protective shield against air exposure. The mortar and pestle spice awakening. Grinding whole spices immediately before use unleashes maximum flavor with minimal exertion. Concentrate on a circular motion, applying steady pressure to release the essential oils contained within dried herbs and spices. Freshly ground spices are proven to be 300% more potent than pre-ground versions, permitting the use of only 1/3 the quantity in recipes. This substantial reduction saves households that cook frequently approximately $40 per year. Amish cooks traditionally grind spices fresh for every meal, understanding that flavor compounds start degrading right after grinding. The circular grinding action ruptures the cell walls of spices, liberating volatile oils that hold most of the aroma and taste. This elementary technique elevates ordinary dishes to extraordinary ones without needing extra ingredients or complex methods. Flour sack towel cheese straining. Preparing fresh cheese at home costs significantly less than store-bought options. Line a colander with a clean flour sack towel, heat milk combined with lemon juice, then strain and allow it to sit for 4 hours. This process yields ricotta-style cheese for about $2 per pound, compared to $8 for store-bought. The tightly woven yet permeable characteristic of flour sack material makes it ideal for straining dairy items. Milk proteins coagulate upon adding acid, separating from the whey to form soft, fresh cheese. Amish households regularly prepare fresh cheese in this manner, employing simple implements to achieve impressive outcomes. The technique is effective with various acids, such as vinegar or buttermilk, each yielding slightly different flavor nuances. Temperature readings confirm optimal results are achieved when the milk temperature is between 175 degrees and 185 degrees. The wooden spoon anti-boil over trick. Boiling liquids often lead to messy stovetop incidents. Laying a wooden spoon across the pot while boiling pasta or potatoes prevents this frequent issue through basic physics. Surface tension is broken when bubbles contact the spoon, causing the foam to collapse before it can spill over. This avoids messy boilovers and food loss with no additional effort. One might call it the stirring committee chairman that maintains order without doing any actual stirring. Amish kitchens usually possess several wooden spoons specifically for this task. For maximum effectiveness, the wood needs to stay dry and uncoated. Tests indicate this technique cuts down boilovers by about 90% relative to uncovered pots. No more scrubbing stovetops or losing valuable pasta water down the drain. Salt and cold water, egg peeling magic. After boiling eggs, moving them into ice water containing 1 teaspoon of salt results in effortless peeling. Allow them to sit for 5 minutes before attempting to peel. The shells tend to slide off in nearly complete pieces, eliminating the typical struggle. The quick temperature shift causes the egg white to contract slightly from the shell, while salt permeates the minute pores, aiding membrane separation. This method saves time and prevents egg wastage from difficult peeling attempts. Many Amish families utilize this approach when preparing dozens of eggs simultaneously for large gatherings. Tests demonstrate success rates climbing from 60% with conventional peeling to over 95% using this saltwater technique. The cold water bath also halts the cooking process, preventing the formation of a grayish ring around the yolks. Wine cork veggie saver. Slice old wine corks into thin rounds and place them in containers holding wilting vegetables along with a splash of water. The cork material absorbs ethylene gas, which accelerates wilting, thereby extending vegetable freshness by 3 to 4 days. This unconventional trick originates from Amish communities known for creatively using available materials to minimize food waste. Cork is effective due to its cellular structure, which naturally absorbs gases while remaining food safe. Research suggests this method can decrease vegetable spoilage by roughly 25%, generating considerable savings for households. The technique is particularly beneficial for leafy greens, broccoli, and cucumbers. Natural cork lacks harmful chemicals. Bread heel preservation strategy. Storing bread with both end pieces, heels, turned inward toward the softer slices considerably prolongs freshness. The denser heels shield the inner slices from drying out by forming a moisture barrier that decelerates staling. This technique extends bread freshness by as much as 4 days, cutting waste of costly artisan loaves by approximately 25%. This simple repositioning costs nothing, yet produces noteworthy results. Amish bakers customarily position bread in specific ways for optimal preservation, recognizing that proper storage is as vital as proper baking. The underlying science involves moisture migration. Bread naturally loses moisture from exposed areas, but the dense heel structure significantly slows this process when positioned correctly. Butterbell crock economics. The annoyance of tearing bread with hard refrigerated butter vanishes thanks to this clever Amish solution. Keeping butter in a water-sealed crock on the counter maintains perfect spreadability while preventing spoilage. The design employs water as a barrier to create an airtight seal. Butter remains fresh at room temperature because the water blocks oxygen exposure, which causes rancidity. Butterbells curb waste by eliminating the common too hard to spread issue. Room temperature butter also incorporates more readily into baking recipes, enhancing texture. It's akin to receiving a first-class upgrade for your toast without purchasing a ticket. Amish households have employed this preservation method for generations, understanding that appropriate storage elevates everyday ingredients into luxurious treats. Onion skin broth enrichment. Clean onion skins usually get discarded, yet their value often goes unnoticed. Collecting these papery layers in a freezer bag provides a free flavor booster for soups and stocks. When incorporated into broths, they impart a rich golden hue naturally. These typically thrown-away skins contain flavonoids and antioxidants that improve both nutrition and appearance. Amish cooking traditionally utilizes every component of ingredients, discovering utility in items others overlook. The pigments present in red and yellow onion skins easily transfer to water-based liquids, functioning as natural food coloring. Chemical analysis reveals onion skins possess quercetin, a beneficial compound known for its anti-inflammatory properties. This zero-cost addition enhances both the visual appeal and health benefits of homemade broths. Rice soaking technique. In traditional Amish kitchens, preparing rice starts well before the actual cooking. Soaking rice for 30 minutes prior to cooking cuts down cooking time by 20% and results in fluffier grains with superior texture. The soaking process permits water to gradually penetrate the rice kernels, initiating hydration gently rather than forcefully. This mild approach preserves grain integrity while promoting even cooking. Comparisons between soaked and unsoaked rice demonstrate that the pre-soaked version absorbs seasonings more readily. This technique reduces energy expenses while enhancing inexpensive rice varieties, making them comparable to premium labels. For Amish families operating with limited resources, these minor efficiencies accumulate into significant savings over time. The enhanced texture makes rice more satisfying, even without costly additions. Woolsock yogurt making. Homemade yogurt costs merely $1.50 per quart compared to $5 to $6 for store-bought versions. The key is sustaining a consistent fermentation temperature. Enveloping a jar of warm milk and starter culture in a clean wool sock furnishes ideal insulation. Wool naturally preserves temperature stability for the 8 to 10 hours required for fermentation. This clever Amish method necessitates absolutely no special equipment, yet yields professional-grade results. The natural lanolin in wool possesses antimicrobial properties that aid in protecting the developing culture. Temperature readings confirm that wool-wrapped containers stay within the vital 105 degrees to 115 degrees range necessary for proper yogurt formation. This straightforward approach renders probiotic-rich foods accessible to everyone, irrespective of kitchen appliances or budget. The soup bone bank account. Accumulating bones from meals in a freezer container builds culinary capital over time. Once the container is full, Amish cooks prepare rich bone broth using a slow cooker, generating the foundation for several future meals. A single batch yields enough concentrated stock for 3 to 4 soup bases. Consider it compound interest for your flavor reserves. Each collection of bones produces virtually free soup base that would cost $4 to $5 per quart if bought. The slow extraction method draws out minerals, collagen, and flavor compounds from bones that would otherwise be thrown away. Modern nutritional analysis confirms what Amish cooks understood through observation. Bone broth is rich in valuable calcium, magnesium, phosphorus, and amino acids that bolster overall health while delivering exceptional flavor. Honey vinegar wellness syrup. Equal measures of raw honey and apple cider vinegar combine to form a potent home remedy. Consuming 1 tablespoon at the initial indication of a cold or sore throat offers swift relief. According to Amish tradition, the mixture is effective because honey possesses natural antibacterial qualities, while vinegar establishes an environment challenging for many germs to thrive in. Taking this concoction at the onset of symptoms could potentially save $15 to $20 per instance by avoiding cold medicine purchases. The acidic flavor requires some adjustment, but many find it preferable to commercial cough syrups. This remedy has been transmitted through generations in Amish communities, where practical solutions are favored over commercial alternatives. Contemporary research corroborates that both ingredients contain beneficial compounds supporting immune function. Sprout your own protein power. Commence by soaking lentils or mung beans in water for 8 hours. Subsequently, drain and rinse them twice per day for 2 to 3 days. This uncomplicated procedure yields living food with substantially boosted nutrient levels. The transformation occurs during sprouting as enzyme activity significantly amplifies vitamin content. Just 50 cents worth of beans generates approximately $4 worth of nutrient-rich sprouts. Traditional Amish kitchens frequently house sprouting jars year-round, guaranteeing access to fresh living food even throughout winter months. Nutritional analyses indicate that sprouted beans contain up to 30 times more vitamin B content than their dormant state. This technique converts affordable pantry staples into nutrient-dense foods without needing special gear or intricate processes. Amish breakfast casserole strategy. Making a breakfast casserole on Sunday provides ready-to-eat meals for the entire week ahead. A foundation of eggs, potatoes, and modest amounts of meat extends protein effectively while offering satisfying servings. Slice it into individual portions and refrigerate to curtail morning food waste and sidestep costly breakfast options. Each serving reheats within minutes, delivering homemade quality on hectic mornings. Amish households have long adhered to this weekly preparation practice to simplify morning routines. This strategy lowers breakfast expenses by roughly 65% compared to commercial options, while also providing superior nutrition. The tactical use of eggs as binders permits the inclusion of vegetables that might otherwise be wasted, further diminishing household food spoilage. The One-Match Fire Cooking Challenge. Mastering the art of cooking complete meals using minimal fuel exemplifies the pinnacle of Amish culinary efficiency. Stacking pots to leverage rising heat for multiple dishes transforms a single heat source into an entire cooking apparatus. This technique enables the preparation of 3 distinct dishes using the energy typically required for just one. The bottom pot holds foods needing the highest heat, while upper containers utilize the captured ascending heat. This smart configuration cuts energy costs for stovetop cooking by 30% to 40%. One might describe it as the original energy-saving cooking system, warming both hearts and stomachs without unduly warming the environment. This method originated in eras when cooking fuel was scarce, affirming that necessity truly is the mother of kitchen ingenuity. These 40 Amish cooking techniques illustrate that ingenuity surpasses costly gadgets. Straightforward solutions employing common items can conserve money, lessen waste, and produce delicious outcomes. Their practical wisdom serves as a reminder that sometimes the finest kitchen innovations are not new discoveries at all, but rather time-honored traditions deserving of preservation.